43 of the Contextual podcast. I am Chris Phelps, as usual. I am on my own again. Good week this last week. A few things gone on. A few football things have gone on that haven't been so good. So I'll talk about them later and depress myself even more. I don't know what else has happened. Yeah, well, just want to thank everyone for episode 42. We're getting more people listening and following. I'm pulling it across different streaming sites now and everything else. It's not just Twitcher, that's a new one. Mixer, Twitch and YouTube. We're across all sorts now. So hopefully it's reaching a wider audience. One of the big things this week has been Periscope. It's been fucking class on Periscope. We've had loads of people watching, loads of people abusing me. A lot of foreign people, they don't understand what they're writing, but I like the support and they're following me now, so that's great. And the Periscope stuff's great because you can see all your streams and everything. It's all there within your Twitter bio on it if you use the desktop. So I'm really pleased about that. Steve-O will be coming on next week. I spoke to him. You know, we're still trying to justify his name in the starting titles, but, you know, it's the best I can do at the moment. He's just a flaky fucker FC, as I've said before. Brad and Bibby are going to come on, definitely, because obviously Bibby's revelling in the Blue Bastards winning the league, and quite rightly, unfortunately. And Brad is just going to come on because he's a Scouser and they're in the semi-final, and so before they get beat, he's got a few props on me, you know, at the moment. So yeah, anyway, we'll talk about that the football stuff later because I don't want to depress myself from the off. A couple of things, usual gaming news first. A couple of things I pulled out to look at if anyone's listening. Yeah, okay. My favourite game, PUBG, now got this map Savage, which is 4 kilometre square map, which is very much in the style from what a couple of people have said of Fortnite, as in Mr. Bradley. And it's all sort of in, kill, out sort of map. It's all on PC at the moment, so we'll have to see if that ever does come to Xbox, because I think back end of next week, the new map, the Miramar Max map, is coming out on Xbox, so we'll see what's going on there, whether they actually optimise it or we're going to have texture problems and things like that. At the moment, though, it's absolutely killing it online on the X because it's just crashing. I'm getting loads of crashes when I'm playing it, and it's just pissing me off because you're like mid-game and everyone else is, so they've got to patch it again, but I'm not... I mean, I've had my money's worth, whatever happens with PUBG. I absolutely love it, but as everyone knows, I'm bore everyone weekly on this. But it's just one of these where it's got to start up in the game because it's really flagging behind now. The patches are there. I'm playing it daily. It's not stopping me enthusiasm, but it is ruining that immersion at times because the map's just, you know, kicking you out and stuff. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Second bit of news, there's a few Sega stuff going on the Nintendo Switch. On the marketplace there, you've got, it's an arcade classics really, which is quite good. Alex Kidd, Sonic, Phantasy Star. What else have we got? When's that coming out? There's all sorts. Thunder Force 4, Game Ground. They're all sort of games I played in the past from years gone by. Obviously being an old man now. But yeah, they're all coming on the Switch. Then we've got this week, there was announced a Sega Mega Drive Mini, which everyone was getting excited about because of the SNES Mini and NES Mini, but it's just, I think it's made by, is it AT Games? They made them in the past and they weren't the best, so it's not going to be fucking At Games or AT Games. Flashback Mega Drive device. Well, that's what they've made in the past, but this is supposed to be Sega endorsed one, which was at some Japanese game show. So I'm not too sure, and I'm not too sure whether it'd have the legs like the SNES and that at the moment. Because Sega sort of died on its arse. They're just a developer now more than they are. They don't have any hardware and stuff, so we'll see on that. A lot of the Xbox original games have been revealed on backwards compatibility. We've had, I think it's about 9 been released this week, and then one of the things I picked up on was Digital Foundry did a analysis of a 360 game that's been Xbox X enhanced, which is Red Dead Redemption, because obviously the new one's coming out this year. So they pull that out, and they're absolutely brilliant what they've done to the game. So they're, you know, obviously some of the animations and that are a bit, you can see it's from a few years ago, but the actual game itself runs like a dream. So if you can get that cheap, and I've seen a few of them today in CEX up in Salford near where I work, and there's a few copies you can pick up for pence. I think they were on sale on the Xbox dashboard, but usually they have your pants down with that bullshit. So Shop around, get on eBay, you'll get it for fuck all on toast. Probably a couple of quid if you can. What else are we pulling out here today? Let's have a look. Oh, right. Now, this is a game that they're remastering it, and I can never pronounce the name right, so apologies if I absolutely crucify this one. But they're releasing on Xbox One, PS4 and PC later this year. Is it Shenmue 1 and 2 remaster? I'm really sorry if I've crucified that one. I never actually played them, to be honest. I know obviously Dreamcast jobs, and then I think Shenmue 2 was on the original Xbox as well, but they're re-releasing them, so I'm not sure what they're doing to it other than it's a slight remaster. I don't really think they're updating it like they have done with some of the Xbox stuff, so we'll see how that comes. But everyone's happy, and I've got to play it because I've just not touched it at all, which is sacrilege, I know, but it's just never been my sort of game. But you get that much excitement around it that I'm going to have to try it, I think. Oh, another game come out this week was God of War, which has got absolute amazing reviews, previews, everything. It's basically, they're all saying it's like a hybrid of stuff like Last of Us, even the Resident Evil stuff, the attacking things and things like that. It's real got that, that feel to it. So it was great reviews. I've not seen anything less than a 9 on it. So if you've got the cash or whatever, get on it. It looks really good for the PS4 that's on. It's PS4 exclusive. Now, obviously, it's getting into silly season with E3 coming up, and I keep saying this, but we're going to be doing our E3 show closer to the time with a sort of analysis of the reveals for Sony and Microsoft. Myself, Brad, and maybe a couple of other people will get on that. Now, obviously, as a predominantly PES-driven podcast, or originally we were a PES-driven podcast, and I've branched out, and I keep saying this, but this is around about the time where we should start seeing leaks. So if anyone who follows the podcast follows me and stuff for because of our sort of at the moment, it's absolutely disgusting what the hell's going on with Pro Evo. But we should start listening and hearing little leaks or possible articles going up before embargoes and things like that, because E3's around, it's in June, usually around May time. Sometimes you get a release of the game with a press conference and a press release and stuff, and usually about 5 or 6 minute video from Konami. But I reckon we're probably going to be looking at around E3 before we get anything. But there'll be a few things may get thrown about on the forums or whatever, so I'd keep watching on that if you're a big PES fan and stuff. I know there's not many of us out there anymore, but I still want it to be what it was, and let's hope that they get the fucking arse in gear canal, because it needs it. And there should start being preview events. Whether we're going to get invited to the preview events, I'm not sure. We were supposed to be, but shit happens when you start telling the truth. I think that's the way it is. And also, in relation to that, I'm going to start streaming a bit of PES 2018. I know this is going to be fucking absolutely kill me to play it, and I'll be absolutely pissed off probably when you're watching me, but I'm going to just try and go back on it and see if there's anything in there. I mean, I'm reading on the forums, there isn't, and I pretty much know there isn't, but I want to see, one, I'll be the first one to hold my hands up to it, eat humble pie if the game is actually half decent, and two, if I'm proven wrong, I'm proven wrong. I just don't see it. They've not patched it since it come out, not gameplay wise anyway. They always have these little one-liners in the patch releases saying and some gameplay elements. Well, we'll see if that fucking happens, but I don't believe that it will. So I'm gonna have a go this week. I'll probably download it, play one game, and then fucking delete the fucker as usual. But I want to try and maybe even just do the Masters League. And I know it's empty as fuck, but I want to sort of play and get on there, sort of thing, and see if there's anything to it. So I'll, like I say, you can call me out, slag me off, whatever you want with it. I've been pretty vocal, getting a bit of a name for myself. Me and Steve-O, probably a pretty bad name in some respects with Konami or whatever, but the truth hurts with these things. I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff. It's a computer game that I've had so much enjoyment out of, and if it's shit, it's shit. It's like Gears of War. Gears of War's up there with Pro Evo for me. Not played Gears properly for months because of PUBG and stuff, but it's still one of my favourite games. But was I happy with Gears 4 when it came out?
Guys, you missed it.
Not really. I paid £400 for the limited edition console, the fully loaded game with all the DLC, and basically anybody who is a friend of mine can play on all the maps because I paid for them, which is a fucking joke. So then you get these stupid sort of ultimate team packs every week, which absolutely do nothing, and then you've got to grind to get packs and unlock characters. Now for me, with these sort of things, with any game, everything should be free. A bit like what they're doing with Fortnite and stuff. I know it's this phenomenon, but the whole game and the world itself is free. They make the money off their outfits and things like that. If you want to pay it, your microtransactions go for it, but the DLC and that should never ever be hidden behind some code that's already on the disc, because let's face it, we've had this before with games and analysis. It's all on the disc. The assets and that are already there for these games. So when they release maps like Call of Duty, Battlefield and that, it's absolute bullshit. So I think it's about time. I think the new Battlefield is supposed to be doing this, Battlefield 5, which will be all over. I've read somewhere that they're actually going to be scrapping all the DLC, and it may be a case of, you know, if you want to get packs or you want to advance, then fine, but you know, for guns or whatever, then that's up to you. But you know, it is there as an option, so I think that's probably the way to go and go down the Fortnite thing with what Epic have done. So we'll see on that. I'm quite happy to, you know, hold my hands up and say I was wrong on this sort of thing, but I don't think I am. I think that's it really, gaming wise. Like I said last week, it's fucking slow at the moment. You're really struggling to get anything together other than playing. Playing wise, it's the usual stuff, just streaming. I've been streaming a bit of Mario Kart on the Wii U, which is a great game still. It's a cracking game. You know, I've been streaming PUBG, so let's not fucking... I'm not even going to sugarcoat it anymore. People taking the piss because I'm absolutely, as they say, dick riding that game, but I absolutely love it, even though it does want optimising and sorting out. And we've got a good squad going, actually. I mean, if you want to add us or play in any of the games, my gamer tag's Hulkamania78, so give us a follow. We've got all there's a few of us. We've got a few of the American Marines and stuff with us now, and a couple of the other American lads. So we play across all servers. So we're on like the UK, European servers, sorry, and then you're on like the North America servers. And we've got some nice friends now out of just playing this game. This is the game where, for years now, probably you've been in limbo, where when Xbox Live first come on, you could actually use your mic, everyone talked, you got into a lot of friends. And I've got friends on my friends list, which I'm sure most people have, that are from the 360 days I don't even speak to now, because we played so much and so long together as friends and that. And then once the Xbox One come out, the whole infrastructure of the way you talk to people changed. It was absolute shit show. So unless it was close friends, you were knackered, and you didn't get that thing where you were playing with other people and you could hear them and that, because obviously Call of Duty is notorious for the little gimps in the lobbies and that, fucking swearing and being racist and shit. So I get that. I get why people get annoyed at things like that, and that's where the sort of hello there, Tiny Champion TWN. Take it easy, mate. You okay? Give us a follow if you can, if you're enjoying the show. I hope it's making sense. We're winging this one, but yeah. So I think DLC wise, you've got to get your arse in gear, because it needs, you know, it needs something different when it comes to games and the lobbies and stuff. Something needs to change. Now I know these rumours that the dev kit, well, they ain't rumours, they have gone out. The dev kits have gone out for the PS5 at the moment to all the big developers. Now whether it's pretty certain we might get something at E3. I know with the 2013, it was February 26th was when the PS4 press release and press conference was done with Mark Cerny and that. Because I remember going to Game the next day and pre-ordering it, and I was the first one in the UK actually, which is not something to boast about, but I just remember them saying you're the first till receipt when I was there at 10 o'clock on the dot, and got me PS4. But Xbox One's where I've played all my games really this gen. I do play the PS4 and force myself to play Battlefield and that, because it's a waste of a console. If my wife's listening, it's not a waste of a console, but anyone else who's a gamer will understand. You go where your friends are, the ecosystem's better on Xbox, in my personal opinion. So I get that. You know, PS4 is great, but it's other than the exclusives, it's more an exclusive console for me. But yeah, PS5 supposed to be this year. At least an announcement. So we'll see. 'Cause it's been 5 years, which going off recent years is quite a short period of time. But I think the Xbox One X has caught Sony slightly on the hop, because they've gone from being the powerful, the more specced up console, which I know PC wise it's not even mid range now, but at the time that was a big step up from the Xbox One. So now the X has come out, it's gone right past it and some, and then a lot of the Digital Foundry face to faces, Xbox is just trouncing it. But can you see to the naked eye the checkerboard effect on the PlayStation? It looks great. I mean, the stuff that I've read again on God of War this week is outstanding. So it is what it is. If you're a tech nerd like myself, you want to go where the best is. So that's where now Xbox. I'm pleased with Xbox because of all the shit they did and messed up with in 2013. That Don Matrix with the whole announcement of the this multimedia system, plus it is a game system as well. It should always be a game system first, no pissing about. So that's it. And also big thanks to Brad, because he's now making me fucking shop for a gaming PC, which I've always sort of had in the background thinking I'm going to get a gaming PC, but never thinking I could afford one, because knowing what I'm like, I have to go all in. So it's like all or nothing for me, and that's the problem with these things, is you can't half-arse them, you see. So I'm looking now and seeing what sort of budget I'm looking at, how long it's going to take me to save up. But I think the next evolution, even if a PS5 gets announced, I think the next evolution is a gaming PC, and see where we go from there. And it's whether I can use a keyboard and mouse, because I'm pretty crap on keyboard and mouse.
Fuck, don't really give me the fucking hype zone now, man.
I've used them, but not for long enough, and obviously it's something that I need to.
I can see 240
learning to use, and it's
on the
better,
beach.
Anyway, better for aiming and stuff, especially first-person shooters that we're into. So I'll see what's going on there. Just big thanks anyway. We've got quite a few followers today. If you're there, give us a shout and a hello. I do appreciate all the support, even if you've come across us for the first time. This is like the 43rd episode of the podcast. There's no messing about. It's explicit. It was based on Pro Evo, as I said originally at the start of the podcast, but now it's just gone into all sorts of things, even gaming, MMA, football, which I'm going to talk about, WWE,
on the left,
Las Vegas and stuff, which I absolutely love. So we have all sorts of guests on, different people.
He's there, he's coming round now.
I'm definitely getting this thing with B-Man on as well. Brian from Pennsylvania, from the Foot United guys.
He's pushing left.
He's definitely going to be coming on. Hopefully Alan from the Winning 11 blog forums, and Pez Monkey. He's just getting us all together. We were hoping for last weekend, but that's just not happened at the moment. So I'm just trying to get us together, no pissing about. Let's have a chat. The stuff I do with Brad and Bibby that I was talking about before, that's just going to be a purely shit show of us all slating each other. Bibby's a City fan, Brad's a dirty scouser, and I'm obviously a supporter of the greatest football club in the world, Manchester United. So we're just going to give it each other. And at the moment, I think I'm at the weakest spot, especially if we get beat at weekend in the semi-final. So that's coming up, definitely. And this leads nicely into the next section. I might as well go on to the next bit, the gaming-wise. Obviously, there's much more to talk about. I want to talk about football. Now, it's been a bad weekend for me as a United fan. Now, last weekend was one of the best weekends I've had for a long time, because we decided to actually turn up and play in that second half how Manchester United should play, not the usual shit show that we've been used to these last couple of years. So it's one of them where I think realistically we got what we deserve last weekend. It was a season of stop starts, too rigid, too much pissing about, too embarrassed to attack against teams when we should be wiping the floor with them. Tactic, and I'm not one to say like get rid of Mourinho, get rid of Van Gaal. Towards the end with Van Gaal, I'd had enough. I mean, David Moyes, I knew straight away he wasn't the man, even from when the minute they announced him. You're hoping he's going to pull a Fergie, but it never actually happened. But yeah, I don't know Mourinho. I just think he's very stubborn, and the players I would play, he's not playing them. So I don't like. I know he's a bit at the moment. Jesse Lingard, I've slagged him off rotten on this podcast with Steve-O. And no, I've slagged him off. Steve-O hasn't. He's always supported him because I just don't think he's good enough. But he's having a bit of a Januzaj type season where, like with David Moyes, Januzaj was his only shining light, and it's been like that at the moment. You know, Lukaku's played well in Spurs. He's getting goals. Whatever, you know, his touch is a bit off sometimes. Pogba, I don't know what he's doing. 1 minute he's a world beater, like against City in the second half, and then on Sunday he was absolutely terrible. Now, as a United fan, I've got to be humble pie here. I was at the game on Sunday. I walked out. Well, when they scored West Brom, I said to my daughter, I leaned over and said, "You do know that if we get beat, City won the league." And she didn't. She was oblivious. Like, no, I said, "I'm telling you." And some guy behind me was like, "You sure?" I went, "Yeah. If we get beat, City have won the league." And they just looked like there was any way we were going to score. If anything, West Brom should have had 2 goals in the first half. And hats off to them. They defended. We were just too rigid. There wasn't enough bite or attack. They were just hoping for one chance, United. A bit like what we did against Chelsea, where we rode our luck for 70 minutes and then decided to play for the last 20 and got the winner and stuff. It was embarrassing on Sunday. So you get what you deserve. And I'm just glad. I was contemplating going to Wembley on Saturday, but we played terrible against Spurs in the league at Wembley. And I know we've got our fans there and it's supposed to be a 50-50 split, but if the real Spurs turn up and the way we turn up, the way we've been playing, I ain't looking forward to it. And I know obviously Harry Kane's back, so we'll just have to see. I hope I'm proven wrong, and because the thing is, the way it's going, you know, the fans are getting slightly restless with Mourinho. I think it's because he's gone from this pragmatic, smiling sort of, you know, managerial assassin to now he just seems angry at everyone, and this is before he was at United. So I'm not prepared to turn on him. I'm prepared to wait this sort of pre-season out and get rid of some of this shit now. They've got, I keep saying it, but fucking Smalling, gone. He's terrible. Fuck him off. Jones, not good enough, always injured. Who else have we got? Let me think now. He was obviously going to get rid of Daley Blind because I've not seen him since last year, so I don't know what the hell's going on with Daley Blind. And he's always been reliable, competent player. I still say he should try him in defensive midfield. Herrera's not good enough, even though he loves the club. Darmian, fucking wank. Get rid of Ashley Young at left back. Play him further upfield if you're going to play him at all. He's not a left back. Get a left footer on there. Get rid of Valencia as right back. You want a proper right back. Push Valencia forward. Again, if you're going to keep him, they're both like 32, 33. Valencia's been great for about 3 or 4 seasons, but he's getting to the point now where it's too rigid. When we need something a bit different, this stuttering and step over that he does all the time, Valencia, and then just goes to the outside. It's too easy. As is Ashley Young's, let's cut inside and cross on the right foot. Doesn't work. Let's have a bit of fucking variety in the team. Midfield-wise, I'm happy with Matic. Good player. Very good player. He's been one of our best players this season. Dead reliable. He's been an easy 7, 8 out of 10 in most games, so I'm not going to slag him off. I think that's probably one of Mourinho's better buys. Lukaku I'm happy with. Pogba, don't know what's going on, whether his head's been turned or not, I'm not sure. I don't want him to go, but he needs other players around him to let him play, and I don't know whether, one, he's got the fight and heart, or 2, it's just who he's playing with. I'm not too sure. We need a left winger. We need another striker off Lukaku, or a backup of some sort. It's whether someone's going to want to sit on the bench, I do not know. But just go back to attacking football, 4-4-2, no pissing about, and just play how United should play. Now, as a season ticket holder now, you know, I've watched United for nearly, 40 years. I'm 40 this year. So, you know, it's a long time. I've been going since I was a kid, live right near the ground. So I've been there through all of it. Even when we were winning the league before then, when I was a kid, going on the Stretford end, standing on the Stretford paddock and stuff, you know, I used to live literally 5 minutes away. Now I'm about 10 minutes away in the car. I'm up in Urmston, but that's where I'm from, Old Trafford and Stretford. So it's like you've seen the good and bad, and we've seen all the good with Fergie and all the stuff there. And even the late 80s when I was a kid watching us get trounced by City 5-1, you know, and all that stuff at Main Road. My best mate's a City fan. We've had all that. We've always created our own success. Our own money's come from within the club. But now it's getting to the point where they're relying on, there's too many anomalies. You know, already City have paid all this money, but we've got a good enough team to at least be a bit closer. Whether we, man for man, we probably haven't. Let's be honest, we probably haven't got the same team that City have, you know, man for man. I'm not going to even try and be that stupid to say that, and that's a sad thing to say. You know, people like Silva, David Silva, Sane, Aguero, you know, they are better than our players man for man. Aguero's a great player, as much as I hated him when he left Atletico and went to City, because I always enjoyed him there when he was with Fernando Torres and that. So the good players, you know what I mean, they are good players. Keeper De Gea is better than Edison. I know he's had a good season, Edison, and he's good on the ball and that, but obviously De Gea's kept us we probably wouldn't be in second place if it wasn't for him. So we'll see. We'll see how that one pans out and what happens in the summer. And I know one of the games we've been announced, I think on the 30th of July, we're playing the Scousers over in America. So that'll be fun. So if you're watching, Brad, you're getting dicked in that game, mate. So yeah, and that's it really. FA Cup wise this weekend, if United do turn up, I think we'll win 2-1 or 2-0. But obviously Spurs are on the game and Eriksen's running the show like he normally is. And even if Dele Alli decides to pull one out the bag, I know he's been getting a load of stick recently, so we'll just see. It's going to be a tough game. I'm just glad, and that's not being a fair weather fan, but I'm just glad I'm not on that coach if we do get beat, because you've got nearly 2 hours trying to get out of that car park at Wembley. It's a fucking nightmare. So we'll see. UFC wise, we're on to UFC now. Not a lot to report really. Conor McGregor, it's all gone quiet. Dana White now, after everything that's gone on, said it was the worst thing ever. Has been spoke to him about his incident in New York. You know, he's apologised to these certain fighters. He's now I think he's remorseful for what he's done, but I think he's got to be. They're saying he won't get sent down for what he's done, but we're just waiting on the announcement because, is he going to fight Khabib at some point? If he does, he said he wanted to fight him in Russia, which would be unbelievable, but I just can't see if Khabib gets him down, he's going to be able to do much with it, if I'm being honest. It's a fucking hard fight, that. Thingy started tonight, which I am actually going to watch last night. The Ultimate Fighter. I absolutely love The Ultimate Fighter. It's a great show. I've mentioned it before. It's a reality show where they have a certain angle where they have certain fighters. 2 fighters are going to fight who are there now, pro fighters under contract with the UFC. And it's usually a champion v number 1 contender. And this time it's Daniel Cormier, which is the light heavyweight champ. I've mentioned this before. And Stipe Miocic, who's the heavyweight champ. Now, they're the 2 coaches. Now, they get on these 2 guys, but they're actually fighting in July, which is going to be a great fight because Daniel Cormier is the light heavyweight champion, but he's been heavyweight champion in Strikeforce, and he's actually undefeated at heavyweight. At light heavyweight, John Jones has beaten him twice, as we know, and both times, the second time John Jones popped again for drugs, so it was a no contest and he got it reversed. So he's only actually lost 1 fight to Jones, but it's one of these where it's going to be interesting because Daniel Cormier, or DC as they call him, he's an Olympic wrestler, so no one can go near him. Stipe is a good wrestler, but it's whether Cormier can take the punches of Stipe and how good the fight will be, whether it's going to be a wrestling match or it's going to be an out-and-out slugfest. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. But they're coaching at the minute. I'm not sure what weight they're coaching. They never actually coach the weight that they fight at, so they have their own teaming and that. And obviously they're training side by side of them, but you get all sorts of shit going on where they're kicking off, fighting within the house, getting pissed, and it all just goes off. So I think it was on last night, BT Sport. Now, it should be on about 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to have a look, try and get it on catch up. The only problem is with these things on BT, and I think it does it on Sky and Virgin, it never picks up the show properly. So loads of times, if you're going to try and record it, if you've got BT Sport, is you can't find it. You'll find the Ultimate Fighter, and when you actually put the recording on it, it'll be fucking motorboat racing or fucking golf or something, because they never get the information correct. So have a look out first. It might be on tonight at 10 o'clock. If it's usually on in the middle of the night live from the US, it'll be on the next night about 10 o'clock. So I'll have a look at that. It might be on after the match tonight. Obviously, and also United are playing Bournemouth tonight, so that's going to be something I'll be wincing with my eyes closed, I think. But yeah, so we'll see that UFC. But please get onto Ultimate Fighter. It's brilliant. If you've got IPTV or a Kodi box or a Kodi Fire Stick, and you've got anything like that, you can get all the back catalogue. The original Ultimate Fighters are great. We're going back to 2004, 2005. There's been loads of, I think there's something like 25, 26 series now. It's fucking brilliant, honestly. Some of the early ones are brilliant. Michael Bisping won it. Matt Serra won it. Then you've got the original ones, which was Diego Sanchez, he's still fighting in the UFC. And then you had, he won in his division. I think he beat Kenny Florian, who's one of the co-commentators now, but it was Forrest Griffin v Stephen Bonner, and that was the fight that put the UFC on the map big time worldwide. Because you watch that fight, it's unbelievable, backwards and forwards. They're just standing there toe to toe, just swinging and kicking from the fences. It's a great fight even now, and that's like 11 was that about 12, 13 years ago. So yeah, get on it, brilliant. I couldn't recommend it enough. I think that's it for UFC. WWE wise, Ronda Rousey is coming again. She's had a fight with her and Kurt Angle, the Triple H and Stephanie, and they've had their match, so now it's on to the next one, which is Ronda Rousey, and she saved Natalia, which is Bret the Hitman Hart's niece, the other day, and it's going to be her against these two girls who don't know who they are. So that's her next match, I think. So we'll see how that plays. Whether Natalia double crosses her after it and turns heel, I'm not sure, but that's the next evolution. Bobby Lashley's come back in the WWE. He's not been in for a few years. He's been up in TNA and he fights in Bellator as well. He's a MMA fighter as well, which I think wrestling-wise, I think Brendan Sharboff, the fighter and the kid, who was going about that podcast, he said in training, nobody can beat him in wrestling. He's that good and strong. He's unbelievable. So I think they might try and book a shoot match with Brock Lesnar, which shoot match means real as it. So in wrestling, you've got, obviously, it's a work, which means it's a totally fabricated, bullshit thing. But they might try some sort of shoot match between the two of them as like a wrestling type match, where it's a proper wrestling, because both of them are Olympic level wrestlers really in some respects, Brock Lesnar and him, and Bobby Lashley. So we'll see how that one plays off, because it's getting a bit boring with Lesnar now. So we'll see. Oh, and also breaking news: me and Sam couldn't believe this for WWE, but we watch it every episode. Total Divas. John Cena has been with Nikki Bella, the Bella twins, for 6 years, and they've just announced this week that they've split up. Now, anyone who's watched the show, you won't believe that they split up. So that's breaking news for anyone who watches Total Divas. Yeah, you can call me whatever you fucking want. I do watch it and I do enjoy it. So yeah, they've split up, just announced it this week. So we're not sure whether it's him or her, but he's very driven with his career and he's cheated on most of the women he's been with. I'm not saying he's cheated on her, but he's very driven. He's getting into movies now and stuff like that. So I know they didn't see each other a lot. Well, that's what they're depicting on the show. So we'll see. So yeah, heartbreaking there for Mr. Cena and Nikki. But there you go. Vegas type. That's it for WWE again. There's some Hulk Hogan stuff possibly coming up. But again, it's all gone quiet on whether he's coming back. Jimmy Hart said he may be having a few chats with WWE. So we'll see. Vegas news. There's not really a lot to report. We're still going later on this year. Steve from Las Vegas, UK is back. I think rightly looking at his winnings and losses, I think he won about $22,000 when he was there, because he showed it all and showed the machines room. But then obviously with the losses, he was, what was he on? He was I think he was I'll come back with about $10,000. So he's well up there with his money. So I want him to come on and give us a full rundown of his holiday, which he's going to do. But he did say that he's getting married, so I can't really complain. He said he won't be able to do it this week. So I've had a few messages, a bit of dialogue with him. So we'll see when I can get him on. I just want him to come on and do a full trip review. Just interesting from my own self. It might sound a bit self-indulgent and a bit, a bit thingy, because it's one of my interests. But it is what it is. So we'll see. We'll see how that one pans out. Yes, I think that's it for the Vegas stuff. What else? Oh, Comics in Motion. We're basically we're at episode 9 now. We've just reviewed Sin City, the Frank Miller film, comic book adaptation. Absolutely love it. Absolutely loved it. I sent it to Halls of Justice, which is in the middle, not because there's anything wrong with it, for the whole art style, and I've seen it before. I had it on DVD. Excuse me, it was brilliant. But there was just a couple of things where it just become too depressing on a rewatch. So, and Dave sent it to Atlantis, which is one off the top. Obviously, our top score is Asgard. But yeah, really good film. And this next weekend, we're actually going to go. I don't know if we're doing it tomorrow. We're going to review, or we're doing it next week. But we will be reviewing a TV series which we've not yet announced. But it's a great one. It's one of my favourites. So I'll even now on the rewatch. It's from a couple. All I can say is a Netflix special. There's no secrecy really, because we sort of say don't really announce it till closer to the end of the week. We do a full week of like facts and info and know-how of the film we reviewed, which is getting us followers. And a big thank you as well to everyone. I've hit over 500 followers on the Contextual, just organically really. And on the Comics in Motion, in I think it's something like 8 weeks or 9 weeks now. We've hit 1,200 followers, so I'm so pleased. And we're getting quite a lot of people listening to the podcast and that. Totally different to this. I don't swear or anything. I just, we just talk and review the comic book based media, which is really good. So really interesting. But yeah, I think that's it. Wrapping up time, I think, guys. I want to thank people for listening. Please give me a follow. Contextual Podcast on Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, what else? There's all sorts of different streaming formats, and just thanks for sticking around, everyone. It's been an interesting couple of weeks, especially doing this on my own and now doing it where I'm streaming to all these sites. I got a bit of abuse, and I got onto the PUBG hype zone, which is playing at the bottom of the screen here. Where's my finger? There, bottom of the screen. That's the PUBG hype zone where you get like hundreds of people watching, and I got into that and they were all calling me grandpa and grey-haired Dale. So yeah, I got some abuse, which I expect at doing something like this. But yeah, thanks everyone. This has been episode 43. I've been Chris Phelps. Give me a follow on everything on Twitter, which is at ContextualPod1, Contextual Podcast on YouTube, Twitch and Mixer. Come on, give me abuse. If you want to add me on Xbox Live or PS4, PSN, it's Hulkamania78. If you don't, I understand. I may get Steve-O on, who people wondering who the fuck Steve-O is in the entrance music, because it does say with Hulkamania78 Steve-O chilling. We still don't know who he is. Is he Mirage? Is he real? Is he Lord Voldemort? We don't know. So we'll have to see. Maybe if I say his name 3 times in the mirror, he might actually appear. I did give him some abuse on Facebook the other day because he was asking for some GameCube games with one of the retro sites that we both go on for old games, and give him a load of stick, and next minute he was on the phone giving me shit laughing. So get yourself on, Steve-O, you fucking idiot, so you can get you on here. We missed the bullshit from China chat, and you can give me a load of stick. And yeah, just really appreciate your support, guys. So this has been episode 43. I've been Chris Phelps. Take care of yourself. Auf Wiedersehen. What are you going to do? Bye.